Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button and do not forget to click the bell icon to get the latest video updates. iOS versus Android. The debate is never ending. Both iOS and Android are established mobile operating systems in the industry. We often find ourselves arguing which one is better. While iOS 11 and Android Oreo both have been unveiled recently, the ongoing discussions have put on some more weight. So today we are going to discuss these two operating systems. My name is Abhinav. You're watching TubeTabloid. Now, first of all, let's make it clear that these two operating systems are built for two different objectives. Therefore, to talk honestly, we can't have an apple to apple, or rather apple to Android comparison. Let's first talk about the primary objectives of both iOS and Android. While both iOS and Android devices or the software made their debuts together, iOS was a more polished, functional and beautiful software that a lot of people loved. On the other hand, the Android was a software that worked but wasn't user-friendly or eye-catching. The reason behind was that iOS was developed by Apple for its iPhone and Android was developed for actually no particular phone. Apple had a fair idea what it required from its software and how they could go about it in future. However, Android was an open source software which was just running around aimlessly. But that has changed now, and Google is now taking care of Android extremely well. Now about 80% of the smartphones run on Android. Well, as we have already discussed, that iPhone has a clear objective of supporting only Apple devices. Android has a large phone base to cover. Yes, therefore the development approach is quite different, but as an average user, I wouldn't be so much interested in what's happening in the background. So let's talk about the differences and which one of these two software is better for you and which will work better for you, of course. To begin with, iOS is only available for iPhones, so you have to buy an iPhone to enjoy the features of iOS, which is not cheap. On the other hand, Android is available on tons of devices ranging from extremely cheap to extremely expensive, so you have a wide variety and flexibility. Therefore, if you don't invest a lot of money in phones, you should probably stick to Android. As an operating system, iOS is more polished, more consistent and more stable operating system, as Apple has developed it for its own devices. However, after Android Marshmallow, the Android is also a very mature and stable software, and the latest offering, Android Oreo, is taking on Apple quite hard. But if you ask me which one is still better, I would say iOS. Now the next thing is usability. Both Android and iOS are quite user-friendly. However, iOS still offers an easy-to-use, beautiful interface, which a lot of people like. And about the appearance, first of all, you literally can't do anything to alter the appearance of iOS. Even your wallpaper will be buried under the app icons on your home screen. On the contrary, you can customize your Android with the help of different launchers, and also there are tons of custom ROMs available based on Android, which can change the user interface dramatically. Therefore, in terms of customization, Android is far ahead of iOS. Now next comes the notification handling. So you really don't want to miss any important notifications, do you? And you probably receive tons of notifications which are very difficult to manage. Now Android is a clear winner here. Notifications panel on Android is much more efficient than iOS. You can filter out notifications, reply and dismiss the notifications, and do a lot of other stuff. iOS notification system is garbage in comparison to Android, and with the notification channels in Oreo, Android is still making its already very efficient notification system better. Now about the ecosystem, both iOS and Android have huge application stores, but Android is still suffering with consistency in the app design, while iOS enjoys a more controlled app store where apps adhere to strict design guidelines. Moreover, most of the apps make their ways to iOS first before Android, but ultimately they land up in Google Play Store as well, so you will ultimately use the apps. Although the messaging has become easier with instant messengers like WhatsApp, Apple's iMessages is still widely used for messaging and it's unique to iOS. So for iMessage you need iOS. And about the devices, iOS only supports Apple devices, but Android supports tons of different devices with different hardware. Now iOS also loses on the connectivity options like NFC and also hugely dependent on iTunes for managing the data on your phone. However, iTunes is a free software, it still needs a little bit of extra time and effort, while you can connect your Android device to any computer without needing any additional software. So it's easy to use Android phones with your current PC. And about software updates, iOS devices enjoy quick and frequent software updates from Apple, whereas Android has to go through a lot of changes to be available on every supported device. Android Nougat, which was released last year, is only available on very few devices, and Oreo is yet to achieve a mentionable number. However, Google has introduced Project Treble, which is expected to make this process easier and quicker for the manufacturers. Now, this was a short description for Android and iOS and the differences. Now, if you have a lot of money and you can afford Apple devices, so you should go for Apple devices because they have iOS, and iOS is pretty smooth and you can enjoy frequent updates and you can do a lot of other stuff. You can use iMessage also. However, if you want a cheaper device, you should choose Android because it gives you a lot of options to customize your phone. You can change your wallpapers, play around with the app icons, and you can do a lot of other customizations within Android. And you can also use different custom software on your Android device, which of course will be based on Android, but it will be custom made for the particular device. So you can do a lot of things on an Android device. So choose whatever you want to, whatever suits you best. Well guys, this is all for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and also do not forget to subscribe to the channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon to get the latest video updates as soon as the videos are published. We'll be back with another video. Till then, take care.